a promoter of the Pramukha Incorporation, which was into the wellness centers and for about 17 years. And the great thing about his profile is he was with Chrysler Global Research and Analysis and with ING Vaishya Bank. And it's a wonderful to know that he had a leadership profile in National E-Governance Services Limited and Learning Edge India Private Limited, and he was donning a key role in that all these organizations. That which connects me more with Mr. Prasad is he was working with ICICI Bank, where I was also working. So there is a connect there. Before working with ICICI Bank, he was with State Bank of India. So he's a managing director of IPI ICMAI, and he has a banking background. He has a CRISIL global research background. I think he's the best fit for becoming our chief guest today. Hearty welcome, Mr. Narasimha Prasad. Thank you so much. I'm sure that you have a lot of ideas to share, and also something special to announce to all IPs here. Thank you so much profusely for accepting our invitation. Over to you, sir.
Mr. Panikat, before Mr. Narasimha Prasad starts, may I request all participants to please open their videos. I think it is better if we interact and see each other, and as a mark of respect to the chief guest also, can I request everyone to please open their videos? Thank you. Sir, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Shankar Panikar. Very nice to meet you, Dr. Makhija. Good afternoon to you all. Very nice to be here with you all today. Thank you for inviting me here. Okay, let's start with, I think this is something, compliance is something that's very crucial. And then I think many of you here will agree that compliance may be the most time consuming part of an IP's work profile. Though it need not be that. So in as much as that, probably you may deem it that it's very important as well. Now, right now belonging to the regulator community, or being a regulator side, as Mr. Panikar probably mentioned, I also am a registered insolvency professional. But anyway, I'm on the other side now. And so with a limited experience or exposure that I had with as an IP, I can very well appreciate when many IPs tell me that compliance is a big in the A. Let me not make this one here. This is a nice, a very nice gathering here. But that is the kind of this one that I get the feedback I get from IPs. So I can very well appreciate that. But being on the regulation side, I can also convey, and I'm sure you all appreciate very well, this is such a nice gathering of highly qualified, experienced, and hard-nosed professionals. So you all very well appreciate the critical importance of compliance, particularly in our work profile in the IBC space. The work we deal with is the assets we deal with, the companies we deal with, the work is messy. We get these companies because they got into a mess. Let's accept that. Now, in as much as that, starting from that, the fact is that there would be, in as much as that there has been a mess earlier, you are here, let us say, to clean it up. Now, cleaning up mess also means that whatever has happened, good, bad, ugly, whatever has happened, there's been a reason for it. And while cleaning up, resolving, to put properly, it is all the more important for the professional involved who is giving the mandate, the IP, or the IRP, RP liquidator, to ensure that whatever is done now, if not undo whatever has happened, the wrong things or the incorrect things that have happened, but do it the right way. Hence, compliance is more important for IPs, I can say, than for other professionals. I think, well, we know that all of you are professionals doubly. You're all auditors, you're all cost accountants, you're all advocates, you're all retired or ex bankers with wide experience. So, this is your second profession. All of you have dealt with compliances in your other profession. You continue to deal with them. And here it is, you may agree with me or not, here compliance is that bit more important, more critical than your other profession, your second profession, or maybe the first profession as it is. Uh, so the reason is obvious. I will not go into the reason for it. So, but let me go straight away into looking at compliances. You are also aware that in our IPA and also the two other IPAs, regularly sessions or online sessions are held about the compliance requirements, reporting requirements for IPs. So it would not be, relevant here or pertinent here for me to go through the full list of all those requirements. That is not the purpose. I think Dr. Makija and organizers will agree with me that there's no point for me to roll out a long list of slides showing up all the compliances monthly, yearly, annually, all these things. You already have that information and you are getting it again and again. What I want to do in the time that's given to me is that to give you the a bit of the concept behind it, and the kind of the compliances and the reportings that an IP in the role of IRP, RP liquidator has to complete, and the changes that are coming through. And I'd be happy to have a feedback or have an exchange of views on, because major changes are happening in this compliance field. So I'll be happy to discuss points to the limited extent that's possible, right? Now, in compliances, it starts from the day you enroll as the IP with an IPA. From there itself, it starts. So, as the IP, an IP has compliance requirements, even if you are not an active professional. That is, you do not have an available authorization for assignment. Also, you do have some basic compliance requirements. Let's accept it. But from there on, as you take on assignments, you have several requirements. Primarily, the concept behind it is that philosophy behind that is that the the code, the regulations, the rules, and the relevant laws are followed by the pivot the pivot who runs this whole process of CIRP or liquidation. Given that, and the pivot is none other than the IRP RP or the liquidator. So that is where the requirement for compliances comes from. Now, we go into particularly about compliances to the IPA and the IBBI. How is it differentiated? The broad differentiation is that IPA is your primary enroller and the primary regulator, while IBBI is the overall sectoral regulator. IBBI collects, would like to have all the information that is generated that is presented to the AA, and that is processed in your processes like CIRP and liquidation. So in as much as that the compliances to IBBI go on the basis of the processes, the CIRP and liquidation processes. The compliances towards IPA come towards the IP's other parts, plus monthly reports, which have been so far the case. We expect to have that change soon. But right now, that is the case that, it is monthly reports. And there are some regular reports like for me and a few other reports in case of what the reportings that are happening to IBBI and the half-yearly report that happens to IPA. Now, going beyond, now there are a host of these ones that are happening, that reportings that are happening that with you, which is a list that I'll not go through. Here I would like to say that we started, it is only 7-year-old, or we are into the 8th year. Now, in as much as that IBBI has to be abreast of, IPA as the frontline regulator of IPs has to be abreast of the processes as they're happening. The information flow to IBBI has to be continuous. So that is why you have the case of the reporting. You have the new forms. You will all know about it. CIRP 1 to 7 that are there. So these have instead of as and when happening, these are given at the change that has happened, that that the new forms are about to come in. They happen at monthly intervals. Most of them are monthly. And another thing is also that uh, these reportings or the compliances are mutually, that is, these different formats that are available, two things that are sought to be done, and they have been incorporated into the new formats, and which will come into play within, I think, November was talked about. I'm not able to put a date there, but I think it will happen soon. So that instead of the way right now it's happening is that, many of the reportings IPs are doing through emails and etc. Even though our IPA people are reporting through emails, that should stop soon. So these reportings that are happening, which is to happen before the 7th of the succeeding month, information collected in one format is available for all other formats as well, so that there is no repetition, which was one common issue that IPs faced. That same thing is to be repeated for different formats in different ways. Same information is being collected, plus so that itself, collating that itself is no particular purpose is served, but a lot of time of the IP and the support staff is consumed in that. That is sought to be changed now. Second thing, major thing that is happening now is that in the new formats, the information that the IP keys in, as and when it is online, of course, it's online. Second thing is that the drafts can be saved, and so that the next time you go in, for whatever reason that it was not completed, it could not be completed, it is available again. That was one thing that, yes, even half yearly reports have come across many people complaining that it was not available, network was not available, you could not get a confirmation that it is not that you don't have the IP doesn't have, member doesn't have the confirmation that it has been indeed submitted. And so these kind of things. So that has sought to be, and I'm sure that that will happen too, so that the information collected is useful, can be analyzed, so that the regulator has the right kind of information to base its IBBIs, the futuristic decisions on, and to make it, that is on one side, the regulator's side, and for the IP to make the life simpler in terms of one doesn't have to keep going back to it, repeating the same set of information again and again. Now, I will, we can, if the time permits, we can have a small